Hi, church. Good afternoon. This is George, and this is your weekly update of Eucharist. So it's been a while since I've done one of these. My camera on my computer seems to not want to cooperate with Facebook. So there's more than one way to get a video out there, as they say. So I'm going through another source, YouTube, to put these together. This week at church, we had this beautiful reading of the manifestation of the divine, an epiphany as seen at the wedding at Cana in Galilee. And it's such a fabulous story. I just love John's gospel because it's so unique in its perspective. And it's always fun when we have a chance to read from the Gospel of John. You know what I like about this passage is that it's so human. There's so many little human things that happen in it. So, for example, there's this one scene where Mary kind of elbows Jesus and says, "Hey, they've run out of wine." And Jesus is like, "What's that to me and you? That's of no concern to us. It's not my time yet." And Mary, being the mother that she is, she knows it is Jesus's time. And she says to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." And Jesus sets off and he turns the water into wine. And the only ones who really know it are the servants. The bride and the groom don't know. The wine steward doesn't know. And the other nice little human detail that we have in this passage is that the steward tastes the wine, and it's this really great wine. And he says to the bridegroom, "Hey, everyone else serves the fine wine first, but you've saved it for when everyone is drunk." I love this story. And I think what this story expresses is this real sense of crossing boundaries. The fact that God in Christ is constantly crossing boundaries, is constantly revealing himself to those who are the ones that never are in on the good stuff. He's revealing it to the servants of all people. He's revealing it to those who are the working class Joes of the world. I like that about Jesus. I like that about this story. And the story that I saw this week when I was thinking about different ways that we find Jesus present in our world right now, one of the stories I read about being that just kind of astonished me and made me so proud was of a story of a church, an Episcopal church back east, that paid off the lunch school bills for kids who are federal employees' children who aren't able to afford school lunches right now. That's a really wonderful and gracious act that crosses boundaries and keeps people fed, which I think is the core central part of this message, is that someone else provides at the party to keep the party going. And right now we need that. We need more of that in the world. Finally, I closed off today by talking about Mary Oliver, beautiful poet. If you don't know her work, she just recently died this week. And she says that to fall in love with humanity, one needs to pay attention, be astonished, and tell about it. So this week, I want to invite you as your spiritual homework to pay attention to the details of the world. The servants were the ones who saw that water turn into wine. They were astonished, and the steward told about it. So pay attention, be astonished, and tell about it, my friends. Okay, that's all for this week. I love you, and I'll see you next week when we have our annual meeting. We'll have church at 9:00, and we'll have annual meeting and church kind of all wrapped up into one. So I look forward to seeing you there. Until then, we'll see you next week. Have a great week, friends. Bye-bye.